Lionel Nelson here, and welcome to A Father's Note, promoting fathers through building men. It's so important that we always stand up for our fathers. We want you to know we're with you. We're standing behind you 110%.
As you all know in life, sometimes things happen and we don't get a chance to experience our full life with biological parents. That other parents come into our life and they choose to stay there. So tonight's show, we're gonna definitely dig into a father and a daughter. The father chose to be a part of her life and the daughter chose to love him and be a part of his life. So we're going to see exactly how they did that. We're going to experience this together. So without further ado, let's ask Miss Talisha off rip. We ain't waste no time. We're going to go in. We want to know, how did it feel for him to add you into his family tree? He already said he already had children. He already said, your mom had you and your sisters. So how did that feel as a child coming into a relationship with a father figure who had other children already? How did that feel?
Well, at first I was upset because that meant I couldn't get my sports car with my mom anymore. She had promised me that once my middle sister went to college, that we would get us a sports car together. Because I still had to go in the space of time before I would go off to college. But once I got over that, it was never an issue. I think that preaching, y'all gonna hear me refer to him as preaching because that's what we call him in the house. Okay. But I think all right. It was, to me, it was pretty seamless because he never made any of us feel like we weren't his kids. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful. So I say that both of them together did a fabulous job and making sure everybody knew that everybody was loved. There was no one person that was isolated, no one person that was better, no one person that got more attention. Everything was just always an even playing field. If you had an issue, you could go to either one of them and they would both equally assist you in whatever it is that you needed, speak to you if you needed to be spoken to, like whatever it is that had to be done, whether it's correction or it didn't matter what it was. Throughout all those dynamics between parents and children, there was never a question of, oh, well, do they love me or am I really part of this family still? It was never an issue. So I think that my parents did a fabulous job in making sure that everybody had what everybody needed.
Okay. Well, that sounds like that flows into this next question for him, and it's amazing to me that you say that they added that balance or they had that balance in the home, because I think because I've been in that role, and I think that's probably one of the hardest things is to find that balance between because all the children are going to have their own personalities. They're all going to be different. And you got to be able to be very skillful to find that balance where nobody feels like they're favorited and nobody feels like they're left out. So the fact that they could do that is kudos to Miss Sharella and to you, big bro. But my question to you, bro, how did it feel to you to raise another man's child? How did that feel to you?
Well, first of all, I didn't look at it as me raising another man's child. Okay. How I looked at it was that, if I love this woman who has 3 daughters, who has 3 children of her own, I wasn't going to love them less than I loved her. If I love her, they part of the package, and that's what I chose. So really, it being another man's child was never a factor. Gotcha. And all of them, they had their father, of course, and I wasn't in no ways attempting to replace their father, but I just want to make sure that in my home that they were going to have a father figure, and they was going to have not just a father figure, but a father who loved them, a person who really loved them as genuinely as we possibly can.
Absolutely. I don't know. Yeah, there we go. I'm back. But my next question is, and I know that in a blended family, sometimes things get tense, and sometimes, and I don't want to, bring up old or difficult conversation, but this is for you, Miss Paris. have you ever had to defend Preacher? That's what you call him, right? Have you ever had to defend Preacher to either your mother or one of the siblings? Have you ever had to defend him? And if so, what was that situation?
Never to my mother. Like, that was never an issue.
Okay.
But to one of the other siblings, yeah, I had to do some convincing for sure.
Oh, okay.
But specifically, it was more so about defending his character. I think that out of all of my sisters, my biological sisters, I think I spent the most time under his leadership because they were kind of already off to college and then coming in and out.
Gotcha.
So I did have to honestly defend his character. Like, no, he's not like that. That's not what he is. But I think that I was able to do that because I got time to actually fellowship with him and actually see what is his true heart towards children. Even though he's like this really tough kind of macho guy, like, what is his real heart towards
he definitely that
my mom. So that was something I definitely did have to defend. I guess I would say like his motives, and I think, of course, I defended it well.
Well, it is time for you. Here's another question for you, sir.
Bring it on, bro.
How now this is difficult for I'm not gonna say difficult, but it's very interesting because I really want to know how you did this and if you were able to do that. How did you not allow jealousy between the children to creep in? Because you already had children, you know what I'm saying? And then they're watching their father love on these new young ladies, this new woman, you know, and it's like, how did you keep the children all in that, you know, sway of that's just daddy and now these are sisters? You know, how did you do that?
Well, one of the things that I guess with me, I just always wanted to make sure that I was fair with everyone.
Okay.
I didn't take sides and one of the things was that whatever applied to one, it applied to all. Now, let me interject this into this because this may help. Now, one of the things that my wife and I had agreed from the beginning and the children had accepted is that we would never allow the word step to be used in our home. Okay. Now, when it came to legalistic circumstances such as school, hospital, something like that, then where we had to apply the word stepfather, stepdaughter, son, or stepmother, yes, that's there. But in the home, no, it was no such thing as step. My wife and I, we both made sure that every child felt equally loved. Okay. And if I was going to bring discipline to one, and if someone else, any one of the other children did the same thing, they was going to have to get the same discipline. But I think that also I would add that when most of the discipline needed to be applied, my wife did an excellent job. What we did, though we did lean on one another, I can say, as far as, well, if it was something that my children did, she would bring it to my attention. And I would definitely make sure that, no, you can't do that. And it's the same with her girls. Now, that might sound like it's separation as far as in the home, but no, we're talking about using strategy. We're talking about using wisdom. But at the end of the day, all of the children know that whatever one say, the other one's going to back it up. And yeah, that's correct. We never did take sides. We just made sure that we was even killed, man. Even killed no matter what. Yeah, that's it, man. You know, I hope I did well.
Well, we about to find out how well you did, because I want to ask Ms. Paris, how has he impacted your influence, in a sense, in your desire of a mate? Do you look for the same qualities that he has, or is that not the case? Jesus. Yeah. We're going to see what you did. We're going to see if you did a good job or not.
Oh, God. Okay. Let me hear this one.
No, definitely. And regards to the way that that preacher protected, the way that he was always watchful, the way that he was always there. That is super important. And I think I was able to see that on a higher level even when I went to college, because it didn't matter if something was going down. Like, preacher was like, all right, be done, what's up, like, what's going on? And he was just, and I think that's the most important one, he was always there. And that I look for 100%, because I'm about to get married in December, and that's something that I keep my eyes open for. Is he there? And then is he, because he did open doors for us, he did take us out and do different things like that, but that main one was, is he present? That's the one for sure.
Now you said something. Now this ain't on our questions, but you said something. You said he was there, like he gave you that. He was like, hold on, we on our way type thing. So you basically saying he was just ready to get it on if he needed to. At any point. Okay. So
because I remember when I was in school that my school had announced that there was a hurricane in our area that was coming, a really hard one that was going to
in Savannah, Georgia.
I was in Savannah, and they here, and it's like it literally wasn't 5 minutes, but it's just like you look up and it's like, oh snap, preacher's here! Like, what's going on? But it's about taken care of on the level that I hadn't ever seen before. Preacher was always there and on point. And even still, like to this day, if something happened with my car or there was an accident or something like that, he's there. And that's super important.
I got you. I hear you, Doc.
My whole objective, man. You know what I mean? Can I interject something here?
Please go ahead.
So again, I want to be as transparent as possibly can. And one thing about Talisha, as I stated, her other sisters, they had their father in their life. Can I just be real with you, Paris? Is it okay?
Please.
Okay. So when unfortunately, when her mother and I got married, her father dropped out of sight. He just broke off all communications. I'm talking about literally. Okay. And I made a promise to myself and to her mother that she would never have to grow up another day in her life without having that fatherly experience. Having that dad know that, hey, there's a man that I could call my dad and he's going to be there no matter what. And that was my whole legit, because I cared about her. I cared about all of the girls, all of the children. And well, I'm going to say, I want to target it toward my wife's girls. I loved all of them. And it was whatever I was going to do for one, I was going to do it for all. It didn't matter. It did not matter. If I had to move mountains in order to make their life as easy as possibly, I was willing and ready to do it. It didn't matter.
Right.
And I think that my wife knew that. And one thing I can say that my wife, she also supported me in my endeavor as far as being there for her girls as much as I possibly could.
Wow. That's heavy, bro. And again, I say kudos to you and to Sherella for being a great example on tonight of what a balanced house looks like, even though it's blended. I definitely salute both of you. But Miss Paris, I have a question for you. What is one of the funniest memories that you have growing up in the house with preacher?
I want to hear this for myself.
We'll take it all the way back. I don't even know if preachers remember this, but we were at our old house, and I think we were all just talking. It was my mom, him, and me. We were just talking, we were just chatting, and I was sitting on the bed, and we were just talking about something. I don't remember what it was, but I was about to go do all my nightly prep or whatever, take a shower, do all of that so I could go to bed. Mm-hmm. And then out of nowhere, preacher just starts tickling me, and I'm like, what is this? Like, this is weird. What the heck is going on? And I'm just like looking around like, do I stop him or do I laugh and like be excited? Because this was still super early in the transition.
Okay.
So I think that I like cried but laughed at the same time. Like I have no idea.
Oh wow.
It was so weird. But then I beat myself up about it so hard because I'm like, dude, he's just trying to show you what it's like to have that, you know what I'm saying? That real love
father
and that
in
real
home.
relationship.
Right. Yeah.
So I thought that it was kind of funny to me, but I did beat myself up about it because I'm like, bro, just let the man do his job. Like,
he just trying to be a father. That's all.
And then afterwards, of course, like as we got older, there was always the famous line where he would come and stand there and look at you and be like, I need to talk to you for a minute. Everybody was like,
oh, that's too funny.
Dang, what I did now,
man. Wow.
That was always like the thing amongst the children in the house. Like, the preacher said he got to talk to you about son. I was like, oh, get it over with, dog.
I heard that. That's wonderful. And as we come to this portion of the question, and it sparked from what you said, what Ms. Paris had to experience. So Ms. Paris, I'm curious, this is a twofold question for you. Is your biological father active, or has he shown up, or have you all repaired that relationship? And if so, how? And if he hasn't, if you saw him today, what would you say to him?
No, he's not active still. I believe he has some issues that he has to hash out within himself. I think I've come to a place of maturity where I understand and I know that it had nothing to do with me.
Okay.
As far as the reason that he left or did whatever he did, it had everything to do with what was in him and what he was battling on his own. So no, he's not active. But if I did see him, I feel like I would ask him loads of questions, like about what was going through his mind, what was the reason, just to really try to unlock, because I'm a very analytical, deep thinking kind of person. So I want to know, like, what's really going on. And I thank God though for the place that I have been able to come to because of preacher and because of how the Lord has allowed me to mature, just maturing in God and being able to understand that it was he malfunctioned and he needed something else. You know what I'm saying? And it had nothing to do with me not being good enough or me not being anything. It was all him. So I would really probably have a whole entire list of questions that I just would want to know if I actually saw him.
And I love the way you responded to that question, because I do believe that there's a lot of situations where, as you stated, parents malfunction and they make a decision that they ultimately regret at some point, and the child grows up feeling that they did something or that they weren't there. Because me being adopted, and if I could just be transparent in this moment, I hope you don't mind, bro. I carried because being adopted, I definitely felt like, what was it about me that my parents didn't choose to keep me? My biological parents didn't choose to keep me. And I love the way you put that, because they malfunctioned. And it took some years for me to shake that and realize there was absolutely nothing wrong with me. It's the choice they made. And I'm thankful that God allowed me to be placed into a home where I was taught about God and I was taught about what it was to be loved properly. And it seems to me that you came from that same home, that same structure, that same godly agape love from your parents. And it looks great on you. It really does. And I hope that the wedding celebration that you have in December, I hope it is beautiful. I don't know if I get an invite, but I hope it is an amazing event. And I know how weddings go. And I know, the guest list got to be skimmed through, because them plates get expensive, you know what I'm saying? And all that good stuff. They do. But I love how you answered that question. I think that enough young people, if they gain that mentality that you didn't do anything for your parent to not choose you. or to not be responsible enough to choose to play a part in your life. So I love the way you responded on that, Miss Paris. And bro,
can I interject something on that?
Please, go ahead.
Just to follow up on what she said, understanding that feeling of feeling that your parents are not there, especially in her situation. Okay. I strive to make sure that she felt loved.
Gotcha.
That, especially from a man. Even though I wasn't her biological father, even though I know that I could not replace him, nor was I attempting to, but I wanted to make sure that, again, as she said, hey, it wasn't your fault. There is nothing wrong with you. The reason that there is nothing wrong with you because I love you. I love you for who you are. I love you regardless of what you're going through. Right. I am here for you. I want you to know that. Again, yes, like I stated before, reach out to him. If he responds, great. Okay, but at the same time, though, wherever I can be a positive asset in her emotions and her feelings and those things of that nature, that's what I strive to do. That was my whole objective.
Yeah.